Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Keshav Kashmir was a great learned Pandit, was acquired Jad Vidya. So he was so puffed up, was traveling throughout the world and just calling, challenging the so-called Vidvanas to make Shastra Jukti with him, and he was defeating the so-called Vidvanas, Pandits of those days. He was a devotee. He had been favored by Saraswati Devi. Jada Saraswati. Those who want to be very, very expert in this Jada Vidya, they generally worship Saraswati to get her favor. So he had got the favor of Saraswati. He was very famous. All were very afraid when the Pandits, so-called Pandits, hear his name. All were afraid. Once he came to Nadia. There were many Pandits, learned scholars in Nadia at that time. So they were afraid, though he will defeat us. So they just planned, all right, send him to Nimai Pandit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was known, Nimai Pandit, in Nadia, in his Purvasrama. He was also a Pandit. But he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who knows everything with the real source of real Vidya. Because they thought Nimai Pandit was young, we are very old. If Nimai Pandit would be defeated, then we may say, oh, he is a child, young man, you defeat him. Then another chance may come to us. In this way, they planned and saying that case of Kashmir to Nimai Pandit. Nimai Pandit was sitting beside the Ganges Bhagirathi with his students. When case of Kashmir came, he gave him respect and said, you Pandit Mahasaya, all right, you please glorify Ganges, we'll listen to you. Then he uttered many verses extempore, because he had got the mercy of Saraswati Devi. All were astounded, hearing his recitations. But when he finished, Nimai Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just picked up a verse he recited and found out the defects in that verse. This is the first time. For the first time he was defeated. He had never been defeated. So he was struck wonder. How is it that he could recite the verse correctly? I had recited. Because he had recited extempore, he has never recited anything from any Shastra. He didn't know that Nimai Pandit is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Is there anything impossible on the part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Nothing impossible. So his pride is shattered. He was so puffed up, now his pride is shattered. Then Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, says, "O Pandit Mahasa, you should know, সেই সে বিদ্যার ফল জানো নিশ্চয়, কৃষ্ণ পাদ পদ্মে যদি চিতবৃত্তি রয়." You must know this thing. He taught him a good lesson. "O Pandit Mahasa, you should know, সেই সে বিদ্যার ফল জানো নিশ্চয়, কৃষ্ণ পাদ পদ্মে যদি চিতবৃত্তি রয়." That is the result of education, real education. If Krishna Pada Padme Chitavruti, if your mind is fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, then that is the real result of Vidya. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is also said, Sa Vidya Tanmatir Jaya Tatkarma Haritosang, Sa Vidya Tanmatir Jaya. What is Vidya? Tatkarma Haritosang, Sa Vidya Tanmatir Jaya. This is the result of Vidya, education, Tanmati. The person who has acquired this Vidya, his mind will be fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, and he would act accordingly. Tat karma haritosang. He would act accordingly for the satisfaction of Lord Hari. He would never act for the satisfaction of his own body. That is Vidya, the result of Vidya. While Mahaprabhu met Ramananda Rai, he also asked Ramananda Rai, "Vidya madhye kon vidya sar?" Asked this question to Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai answered, "Krishna bhakti vina vidya nahi aar." So, Krishna bhakti vina vidya nahi aar. Vidya madhye kon vidya sar? Which is the best education? Krishna bhakti vina vidya nahi aar. Krishna bhakti is the best of education. Ramananda Rai answered like that. So, this is the real vidya. The one who is real vidwan, alone, his mind is fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, and he is always engaged in devotional service for the satisfaction of Krishna.